Hey everyone. Little is known about William Shakespeare's life despite his many contributions to English literature and language. For the past 4 centuries, historians have had the difficult task of piecing together the bard's biography with only a handful of legal documents. Today, let's know about the fascinating personality of William Shakespeare. Let's start the video. But before that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. When Shakespeare was about 5 years old, his father, John, a glove maker, was accused of illegal money lending and wool dealing by Crown informers. The ordeal plunged the elder Shakespeare into legal troubles that would plague him for the next decade. William grew to adulthood in a household where his father had fallen in social and economic rank. This experience likely shaped Shakespeare's attitudes towards power, class, and the monarchy, the major themes in his future works. Shakespeare was 18 years old when he learned that Anne Hathaway, who was 26, was pregnant with his first child. The couple quickly decided to marry in November 1582 and greeted their daughter Susanna in May 1583. 2 years later, they had twins, Judith and Hamnet. Unfortunately, Shakespeare has no living direct descendants. Hamnet died at the age of 11, probably a victim of some disease, while Judith outlived her 3 children. After the birth of his twins, Shakespeare fell off the map for 7 years. One unsubstantiated theory suggests that he supported his family by working as a lawyer or legal clerk. Indeed, Shakespeare's plays show an impressive grasp of legal knowledge. Shakespeare became an actor when the job was considered downright unsavory. Actors were already marked as undesirables by England's vagrancy laws, which mandated that travelling troupes had to find aristocratic patronage. Rogue players ran the risk of being flogged, branded, and finally hanged. Very little is known of Shakespeare's acting chops, but it's believed he favoured playing kingly parts, including the ghost in his own Hamlet. In the 1590s, many of London's theatres operated as shady fronts for organised crimes. The Lord Mayor of London decreed the theatre and specifically plans for the New Swan Theatre, where Shakespeare may have briefly worked, as a meeting spot for thieves, horse stealers, whoremongers, cozeners, coney-catching persons, practitioners of treason, and such other likes. In 1596, Swan Theatre owner Francis Langley accused William Gardiner and his stepson William Waite of making death threats. Soon after, Waite retaliated with the same accusations against Langley and, for some reason, William Shakespeare. This has led many historians to suggest that Shakespeare may have been involved in some unspoken criminal activity. It may be no surprise that the author of Romeo and Juliet had a penchant for bringing lovers together. He once helped arrange the marriage of his landlord's daughter. The only reason we know this, however, is because the marriage had a rocky start. When a dispute over the dowry boiled over, Shakespeare had to go to court to act as a character witness for his landlord, whom he called a very honest fellow. The transcript is the only record of Shakespeare speaking. In 1596, the theatre in Shoreditch, where Shakespeare cut his teeth as an actor, went dark. The lease for the property on which it was built had expired, and Shakespeare's acting troupe, the Lord Chamberlain's men, were forced to take their show elsewhere. In the late 16th century, English residents had to pay a tax on personal wealth called a lay subsidy. In 1597, Shakespeare was supposed to pay a tax of 5 shillings. The following year, he was supposed to pay a larger tax of 13 shillings and 4 pence. Documents show that the bard never paid the piper. According to the UK Parliament, between 1604 and 1914, over 5,200 enclosure bills were enacted, which restricted the use of vital, publicly available farmland. Ensuing riots in 1607, known as the Midland Revolts, coincided with a period of devastating food shortages. It appears that Shakespeare responded to the situation by hoarding grains. He purchased and stored grain, malt and barley for resale at inflated prices to his neighbors and local tradesmen. On June 29, 1613, a prop cannon caused a fire at the Globe Theatre during a performance of Henry VIII. Sparks landed on the thatched roof and flames quickly spread. It kindled inwardly and ran round like a train, consuming within less than an hour the whole house to the very ground. The only reported injury was a man whose flaming breeches were eventually put out using a handy bottle of ale. When Shakespeare died in 1616, grave robbing was extremely common. To ensure he would rest through eternity peacefully, the bard is believed to have penned this curse which appears on his gravestone. Good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. Unfortunately, somebody ignored the dead man's foreboding words. In 2016, researchers scanned the grave with ground-penetrating radar and discovered that grave robbers might have stolen Shakespeare's skull. Shortly after Shakespeare died, two of his longtime friends and colleagues, John Hemming and Henry Condell, edited Shakespeare's play and collected them in a 1623 book titled Mr. William Shakespeare's Comedies, Histories and Tragedies. That same book, known as the First Folio, helped preserve Shakespeare's work for the coming generations and is widely considered as one of the most significant books printed in English. Well, that's it for today. I hope you're liking Nerdies discoveries. Can't wait for the next video to learn more and be fascinated about. See you on the next. Bye.